25.11. So अन्वेषमानः saranam. So अन्वेषमानः saranam. बभ्राम पृथिवीं प्रभुः. बभ्राम पृथिवीं प्रभुः. नानुरूपं यदा विन्दद् अभूत सविमोना इव. सोऽन्वेषमाणः शरणं बभ्राम पृथिवीं प्रभुः. नानुरूपं यदा विन्दत् आभूत सविमोना इव. सोऽन्वेषमाणः शरणं बभ्राम पृथिवीं प्रभुः. नानुरूपं यदा विन्दत् अभूत सविमोना इव. So that King Purañjana अन्वेषमाणः, searching after. Saranam, shelter. Babhrama, traveled over. Prithvim, the whole planet Earth. Prabhu, to become an independent master. No, never. Anurupam, to this liking. Yada, when. Avindat, he could find. Abhut became Sa, he. Bhimana, Muras, evil like. King Purañjana began to search for a suitable place to live, and thus he traveled all over the world. Even after a great deal of traveling, he could not find a place just to his liking. Finally, he became morose and disappointed. Repeating translation, King Purañjana began to search for a suitable place to live, and thus he traveled all over the world. Even after a great deal of traveling, he could not find a place just to his liking. Finally, he became morose and disappointed. Purport. The traveling of Purañjana are similar to the travelings of the modern hippies. Generally, hippies are sons of great fathers and great families. It is not that they are always poor, but some way or another they abandon the shelter of their rich fathers and travel all over the world. As stated in these words, the living entity wants to become a Prabhu or master. The word Prabhu means master, but actually, the living entity is not a master. He is the eternal servant of God. When the living entity abandons the shelter of God, Kṛṣṇa, and tries to become a Prabhu independently, he travels all over the creation. There are 84 lakh species of life and millions and trillions of planets within the creations. The living entity wanders throughout these various types of bodies and throughout different planets, and thus he is like King Purañjana, who traveled all over the world looking for a suitable place to live. Sri Narottama Das Ṭhākura has sung Karma Kanda Jnana Kanda Kevala Bhishara Bhanda. The path of Karma Kanda, fruitive activities, and the path of Jnana Kanda, speculation, are just like strong pots of poison. অমৃত বলিয়া যে বা খায়, নানা যোনি সদা ফিরে. A person who mistakes this poison to be a nectar and drinks it travel in different spaces of life. कंदर्ज्य भक्षण करे, कदर्ज्य भक्षण करे, and according to his body he eats all types of abominable things. For instance, when the living entity is in the body of a hog, he eats stool. Then the living entity is when the living entity is in the body of a crow, he eats all kind of refuse, even paws and mucus, and enjoys it. Thus, Narottama Das Thakur points out that the living entity travels in different types of bodies and eats all kind of abominable things. When he does not become ultimately happy, he becomes morose or to take to the ways of hippies. Thus, in this verse, it is said, Na anurupam, that the king could never find a place suitable for this purpose. This is because in any form of life and on any planet in the material world, a living entity cannot be happy because everything in the material world is unsuitable for the spirit soul. As stated in this verse, the living entity independently wants to become a Prabhu, but as soon as he gives up this idea and becomes a servant of God, Krishna, his happiness immediately begins. Therefore, Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Miche Mayar base, যাচ্ছ ভেসে, খাচ্ছ হাবুডুবু ভাই. My dear living entity, why are you being carried away by the waves of Maya? As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 18.61, Ishwaraha sarvabhutanam hrudadeshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani jantra rudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wandering of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. The living entity is carried in the machines of the body through so many species of life on so many planets. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur asked the living entity why he is being carried away in these bodily machines to be placed in so many different circumstances. He advises that one surmount the waves of Maya by surrendering unto Lord Krishna. Jiva Krishna dāsa e Vishwasa karale to ara dukha nai. As soon as we confront Krishna, Krishna advises, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam braja aham tvam sarva papebhya mokhyaisyami masucha. To abandon all the varieties of religions and just surrender unto me, I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Thus, we are immediately relieved from traveling from one body to another and from one planet to another. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Pae Bhakti Lata Bija. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 19.151. If while traveling a living entity becomes fortunate enough to become blessed by the association of devotees And to come to Krishna consciousness, his real life actually begins. This Krishna consciousness movement is giving all wandering living entities a chance to take to shelter of Krishna and thus become happy. In this verse, the words Bhimana Eva are very significant in this material world when the great king of heaven is also full of anxiety. Indra, full of anxiety. Even Lord Brahma is full of anxiety. What of these ordinary living entities who are working within this planet? Bhagavad Gita 18.16 confirms Abrahma Bhuvana Lokaha Punaravartino Arjuna. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. In the material world, a living entity is never satisfied, even in the positions of Brahma or in the positions of Indra or Chandra. One is full of anxiety simply because he has accepted this material world as a place of happiness. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति स्वरूपदामोदर स्वामिनिति नामिने नमः सद्भक्तमनाय मणिपुर उद्भावय च प्रभुपादल सद्वाणी प्रचार निरतायते नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय गुरु महाराज श्रीपाद की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. So various important subjects or the key subjects discussed here. What are they? One is that living entity has the quest of happiness, and for that it searches the happiness. So living entity searches the happiness all over the world. So here in the name of King Purañjana is that a living entity who want to find happiness in the material world. So he searches the entire world to find a suitable place to live where he can enjoy the happiness without kuntha or disturbances or misery. Vaikuntha, but he could not find a place suitable in this world because all the places, including the places of Indra, places of Chandra, Varuna, Surya, and Brahma up to Satyaloka, the topmost planet. Everywhere, A Brahma Bhuvanna Loka, Punaravartino Arjuna. Anything that you get is temporary, or Saswata. And the pleasure is mixed with sufferings. Pleasure is like that Bisa Kumbha Payomukham. It appears that there are nectar in the top. It's just a little bit covered. It appears to be nectar, but inside it is poison. A wise person who sees the truth by the power of transcendental knowledge, Divya Gyan, Amudha, he can only find the truth. Vaikuntha, the feelings of Vaikuntha, explained in Bhagavad Gita. उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जनं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषा. So those who have these realizations, he can understand the truth of this existence, that there are kuntha or suffering in this material world. in return. In reality, there is suffering inside. But any subject where are full of miseries or suffering is coated, it's well coated with happiness to be visible outside. Just like sansara, marriage, it appears to be very uh, pleasurable. But once you enter inside, दिल का लड्डू जो खाया वो पछताया, जो नहीं खाया वो भी पछताया, वो कहते हैं ना. Who are inside he knows, who are not inside are hankering to go inside that. So these places where Puranjana was searching for happiness could realize that there is no happiness. So the living entity keep on searching. But what is the Vaikuntha position? Nirmana moha jita songa dosa adhyatma nitya vinivruta kama sukha dukha sangair gachanti amudha padam anamayam tat. Gachanti amudha. Mudha means who are mudha? Mudha who cannot see the truth. That's previous sloka I told. Utkramantam sthitam vapi. Bhunjanam va gunanitam. One keep on suffering. The three moods of pattern nature. Vimudha nanu pasyanti. Still he cannot see. Suffering greatly like anything, but yet he cannot see the truth because of bewildered by the influence of Maya Shakti. So Prabhupada gave the example here, like the hippies are here, like they were searching the happiness in various places, even though for some reason their father is a rich person. It's not that always poor people choose this path during Prabhupada's time. There are many hippies, those who are roaming in sea beach, and they were intoxicating uh, drug addict, and they are almost naked, and they do sex life like a dog and hug. So hippies wanted to exploit the life to get sense enjoyment to the extent possible, completely unrestricted way of sense enjoyment. Any amount of intoxications and sex with anyone and anything like that, like dog and hogs. So those hippies were in search of happiness, but they could never get happiness. So similarly, a living entity try to search happiness, but in what way? In a false sense of mastery. The desire to become a Prabhu or master is illusion actually. The soul is, by its constitutional position, is eternal servant of God, not the master. And it want to assume to a position which he is not actually. So that is the trap of Maya. That is Maya. Forgetting Hari Sambandha, the relationship with God. Mama eva ansa jiva loke jiva bhutah sanatana. Eternally we are part and parcel. Sanatana means eternally. Eternally we are part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Part and parcel. What is part? Whatever the basic or foundational principles in Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sat, Chit, Ananda is also present in us. Supreme Personality of Godhead is full of bliss, complete Ananda. So we want that pleasure too. Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternal. We are eternal too. Supreme Personality of Godhead is Chit, means Purna Jnanamaya Vidya. But here, being our identity in Vidya, we take the false identity to remain in Avidya. That is the problem. I want always Be happy. That was also the principle of hippie. Hippies were also searching that same thing. They want always be happy, but they want always be happy in sense enjoyment. Sense enjoyment is karma. Atmendriya priti vancha tare bali kama Kṛṣṇendriya priti vancha dhare prema nama. This is the pleasure. Kṛṣṇendriya pritivancha dhare prema nama. This is the love of Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the only source of pleasure, and Krishna is the full treasure of unlimited oceans of pleasure. And we are searching a drop of water like in desert. We see the mirages due to the reflections of hot sands in a far away, and we keep on searching. Sometimes, being thirsty, we eat some thorny leaves, and the blood coming from the mouth of that camel give the taste of blood. But he thinks that thorny leaves gives the taste. What a illusion! In these illusory conditions, we can never get happiness. Haridas Thakur elaborate this in Harinam Chintamani, that a living entity, Jivavara constitutional position. What is that? Chidano Swarupa Jiva Vaibhava Prakara Chidharma Vasata Jiva Swatantra Gathana. This living entity is Chid Anuswarupa. Chid means Vidya. His portion, his part and portion, his portion of Vidya. Jiva Vaibhava. The living entity is Tatastha Shakti, is a Vaibhava, type of Vaibhava of Krishna. Yet, this Chid Dharma of this living entity has a special categorizations. So, Jiva, there are three Vaibhava. Vaibhava Trividha Tava Goranga Sundara. Chit, Achit, Jiva, Trividha Prakara. Chit means Chinmaya. Achit means Chit means spiritual. Achit means material. All the spiritual energy are Chinmaya Shakti. Chit Vaibhava. Then this Chit Vaibhava, again three category. Sat Chit Ananda, Sanmaya, Chinmaya, Anandamaya. And Achit is material energy. Material energy or Bahiranga Shakti. That is again three kind. Reflected by three modes of matter nature. Sattva, Raja, Tama. And Jiva is the special category. It need asraya. That is the Swatantra Gathana. The special need of the jiva is that it need asraya. Asraya means shelter. And when it get the shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahadasraya. When it get Mahadasraya, then it is rest assured. Get protected. Prabhupada used to give an example. In Puri Sea Beach, you can see there are small crabs. If you try to catch them, you cannot. They are very small, but they run very fast. And they do not care anyone. Because their shelter is ocean. Virat Asraya. Mohad Asraya. So they do not care anyone. Nobody can catch them. They run so fast. So when our shelter is Krishna, then Maya cannot catch us. But when we forget Krishna, when we make ourselves far like hippies gave up their rich father in search of independent enjoyment, unrestricted sense enjoyment, allured just like a child is allured by the fantasy of the games and disobey the instructions of the father to concentrate on study and other subjects, then he is derailed from the path of study or success the way father is visioning for him. Similarly, a jiva can search happiness elsewhere and give up the shelter of Krishna, go to take the mastery of Maya, which is a trap. चिद्धर्म बसतः जीवा स्वतंत्र गठना संख्याय अनंत सुख तार प्रयोजन. हरिनाम चिंतामणि, first chapter, sloka number 35. That Sankhya Ananta Sukha Tara Prayojana, because Supreme Personality of Godhead is having unlimited Sukha, Ananta Sukha, and the same amount of Sukha is the quest of living entity. Living entity is also searching Ananta Sukha. For that reason, say Sukha Hetu Jara Kṛṣṇa re varila Kṛṣṇa pari sada mukta rupe te rahila. And for that reason, who has chosen Krishna, then he takes the shelter of Krishna and remain in the spiritual planet, being liberated. So jiva are two kind again. नित्यबद्ध नित्य मुक्त. Who are नित्य मुक्त? से ही सुख हेतु जारा कृष्ण रे बरिला. Who has exclusively chosen Krishna as the only ashraya to give this ananta sukha, then they remain as associate of Krishna. Krishna parisada mukta rupe te rahila. They are nitya mukta jiva. And other category are nitya baddha. Those who searches happiness in material world. Jara punha nija sukha kariya bhavana purvasthita maya prati karila kamana. Who jara punah nija sukha kariya bhavana. So there are two kind of sukha, pratyaksha, paroksha. Nija sukha ba deha sukha, the happiness of this body. Ya Krishna sukha, happiness of the Paramatma who is sitting within the heart. It's a Krishna sukha. Nija sukha kamana, Krishna sukha prema. The sukha, the pleasure we get directly to this body has a problem. Jehi sansvar saja bhoga dukha jonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nate suramate buddha. Adi antavat adyantavanta kaunteya. There is beginning and there is end. Lord Krishna advises Arjuna. Jehi sansvar saja bhoga dukha jonaya evate. By coming in touch with or by indulgement with this deha sukha, what one gets? One get repeated cycle of birth and death. He enjoys swalpa sukha, little pleasure, and in return he gets unlimited sufferings, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, and tapatraya, altogether called panchaklesha. Tapatraya, the sufferings from the mind, sufferings from fellow living entities, suffering from this material nature, all are compulsory, tritapa. And still the living entity do not understand that there is a beginning end of this Shalpa Sukha. He try to get this by lording over material nature. Sei sab nitya Krishna bahirmukha haila devi dhame mayakruta sarira paila. This is the position of Puraṇjana. He was searching where that I can get this Ananda Sukha. But he chooses a material body in Devi Dham. Devi Dham is a Brahma Bhuvana Loka. Brahma Loka to Bhuvana Loka. Entire planetary system. 14 भुवने माझ भ्रमिया भ्रमिया कि सुख पाइबो आज. Search entirely for 14 planetary system. In Brahma also has hundreds years of life. Even though this 100 years is huge, but there is a end, and so there is kuntha, miseries. Punya papa karma chakre padiyaye khana sthula linga dehe sada kare na brahmana. Sometimes he do pious activities, sometimes sinful activities. Punya papa karma chakre. And he sometimes enjoys the merit of punya, and sometimes he had to suffer the demerits of papa. Antabanta phalam tesam tu labhati alpamedhasam. So less intelligent people go after this punya, and there is end to this. Antabanta tu phalam tesam. And then again they have to suffer the consequences of papa. So they are very less intelligent people. This is the cycle of good merits and bad merits. Even the good merits are there, they are swalpa, little in nature. Stula linga dehe sada karena brahmana. Because of that, get one body after another and travels in this material world. Kabhu sorge uthe kabhu nirae padiya 84 lakh joni bhoge brahmiya brahmiya. Sometimes to Swarga Loka, sometimes to Naraka Loka. 84 species of life are there where the living entity go one after the other body with whatever feeling come as the concentrated outcome of his life's desire. Na chasya jeha karma bhi, from all of his activities, the desire of life should not be to enjoy the result of the karma. धर्मस्य हि आपवर्गस्य न अर्थ अर्थाय उपकल्पते. Not for enjoying the result of karma, but apavargasya, to get liberated into the spiritual planet. Golaka Vrindavan. Divya Prema Jugala Mantra Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Jugala Mantra can give you Divya Prema, Divya Ananda, unlimited, everlasting pleasure. তুমি বিভু তোমার বৈভব জীব হয় দাসের মঙ্গল চিন্তা তোমার নিশ্চয় দাস যাহা সুখ মানি করে অন্বেষণ তুমি তাহা কৃপা করি কর বিতরণ. Just like a child insists to play games, father has no choice but to allow. Similarly, তুমি তাহা কৃপা করি করে বিতরণ দাস যাহা সুখ মানি করে অন্বেষণ. Though we are servant of Krishna, but sometimes our demands are not befitting a wise person. Mudha, unwise person. Amudha, wise person. Amudha, look for Vaikuntha. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosa adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama sukha dukkha sangair gachanti amudha padam anamayam tat Vaikuntha planet. They enter to Vaikuntha planet. But others cannot realize, remain in this material world. But when we pray, दासेर मंगल चिंता तुम्हारा निश्चय, Lord always being merciful want to save this living entity. Sadhu Guru Shastra Atma Rupe Koran Anusilana. Anusilana means give guidance. Sadhu, Guru, scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Grantha Bhagavata, Shastra Bhagavata, literature Bhagavata, Darsana, Patana, Sravanat, Darsana, Patana, Sravanat, Papa Mochani. All the sinful life get destroyed by seeing, associating, and reading, hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. He had arranged all the shelter for us. We have to exercise the right choice to terminate this cycle of bodies by searching a suitable place of happiness in these various spaces of life. Give up this. Give up this. कीट जन्म हो जथा तो या दास बहिर्मुख ब्रह्मा जन्मे nahi आस. By giving up this mentality to enjoy the bodily pleasure, try to please Krishna in every activities. Then whatever species of form we get in all form of life, we can serve Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Narottama Das Ṭhākura give this that karma kanda, jnana kanda, vishaya of vanda, those who are interested in karma. So karmis, there are Rajaguna, and Rajaguni at best can enter Swargaloka. Tamaguni, who are having Bebhichara, they cannot enter Swargaloka. You can see the example of Swargaharana by Pandavas. Whatever small desire is there, with that one living entity fall cannot enter into Swargaloka. When one do Sakama karma is having desire, there is Kama. And because of that, he can enter up to Swargaloka at the best. But if there is Bebhichara, he cannot give up sinful life, then at best he can go to Pitruloka by his devotion, but who are performing niskama karma are jnani. They get jnana. They can go up to Brahmaloka or get Brahma Sajujya, liberation in Brahman. So they all are cheated, seeing the nectar in the pot of poison. Even mukti is also Vishamaya. For a devotee who's supposed to get devotion as the ultimate source of nectar. But that devotion, out on the top, it appears that there is poison. So this living entity who are fooled, they ignore the pot of nectar, fearing that there is poison. But where is poison? It is coated with nectar. Bhagavad Gita 18.37. So that is the surprise. That is the problem in this living entity who cannot take to the path of surrender. Manmana bhav mad bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru. Sarva dharmana paritejya mam eka saranam braja. The ultimate advice, charama upadesa, that give up all such thoughts in your mind, all such dharma or duty which you feel to be befitting your body, like Bhishma, Drona, Karna. They have their mundane dharma. Give up all such. Take exclusive shelter of Krishna just to please Krishna. Ekamatra dharma Krishna prema. Krishna andriya priti vancha. Aro kichu dharma nahi. A bhakta, devotee has only one dharma to please Krishna. ভালো মন্দ নাহি জানি সেবা মাত্র করি তোমার সংসারে আমি বিষয় প্রহরী. I am just security guard in your sansara. I don't know what is good, what is bad. My only intention is that I will serve you, please you. That is the essence of human form of life. তোমার ইচ্ছায় মোর ইন্দ্রিয় চালনা শ্রবণ দর্শন ঘ্রাণ ভোজন বাসনা. This is the transformation. With devotion, our senses will be guided by the desire to please Krishna. Whenever we want to see, we'll see the transcendental, exquisitely beautiful form of Krishna. When we want to hear something, we'll hear the message of Krishna, the bhajan of Krishna. When we want to glorify with the tongue, we'll glorify Krishna, speak about Krishna. When do chant or kirtan about Krishna. When we have to taste Krishna Prasad, then we'll only taste Krishna Prasad, Krishna Dharmalya. When we have to go somewhere, we'll go to the place of temple, Tirtha, the visit where Lord's pastimes are there. Whenever we want to touch, then we'll serve with all of our energy, with all the karmendriya, jnanendriya, we serve Krishna. Sabahi Krishna Padara Vindar, Ambarish Maharaj gave the teach how we can transform this life full of pleasure from the source of miseries in this material world. That is the rare fortune that we can get through the association of devotee. The most important thing is that this devotion can only be get through another devotee's devotion. We are the carrier of the others. We give up this mentality of Swatantra Ishwara. We do not give others, we do not give like a Prabhu, even though we should not claim that we are Vaishnava. We are wearing tilak, we are wearing kanthimala because it is ordered by Guruji. So we are wearing. We are doing preaching because ordered by Guruji. We are not. I'm not thinking that we are eligible to become a preacher. We take the dress of Vaishnava because order of, so order carrier. Anything we do without the order, then we lack the mercy. You may do very fantastically with all of your skills, but if it is not ordered by Guru and Krishna or a devotee, then you will not get mercy. There will be no Krishna Priti in that. You may do much, much better than a first class devotee who simply do little, but by order of Guru and Krishna. We are postmen, we are carrier of the letters without modifying it. We simply deliver it with that. Post peon, order carrier. That is top to down. When you endeavor yourself, Gurudev Krupa Bindu Diya Karo ei dase Tunapeksha Tihina. We can be Amani and Manada. We can be the humble person. We can exercise the topmost quality of humility only if we carry the order of Guru. Only Guru gives us the blessing. Krupa Sakti. Artificially, we may try to be that very simple. We do not receive any prestige from others. Amani. No prestige, no lava, no puja pratishtha. Artificially, we may try, but it is naturally established within the heart. No matter how much artificially you try, it will come out. We cannot keep that much hiding, and you will not get anything by artificially trying something. But when you go by the order of Sri Guru and Krishna, the first qualification of a disciple that he is Amani. He is abide by the expectations of Guru. And those who are having own self-respect, they will give up everything. And where there is false prestige, there they will go. And where there is lack of prestige, something, all these things, we cannot adjust himself. And we have crossed the time limit. Thank you very much for patiently listening. Any questions? Hare Krishna. No question. We can conclude for today.